Chat, welcome back, man. Another live stream, I guess our final pregame show, but it's also our final watch party today as well of the season for Lions Bears. I'm pretty pumped up for this one. It's got the weird sense that I don't like, where you're not concerned with losing, so it has that vibe to it. I don't love that. I kind of like that stress a little bit, where it's like, hey, man, we got to get this one. But it is kind of nice too, because you're just like, feels like only good things could happen today. I don't know. I want to win. All right. I'll just say that. I want to see this team win this game. They're going through it a little bit on the injury side of things. How much will it matter in this game? I think it's going to matter a bit. I think our biggest strengths on the offensive line not being here is a problem. I think that's going to be an issue. Chicago doesn't have the best defensive front in football, but when you think about who we're going to be throwing out there in depth, for sure, I'm like not sure at all what the heck we're going to look like depth wise. I don't know how much depth we actually have going into this game, so that'll be interesting. Hopefully everybody stays healthy, that way we can get through this, because this could get really messy really fast when you see like where we're actually at health-wise here. But one thing that stuck with me, and this was Dan Campbell's was this Friday presser? And I thought I'd just start with this, what he said today. I wanted to start with this before we get too far into this, because it's like real simple. We all know this is the case. But him saying this, man, I think was everything. So let me pull this up. Let me see if I can. Okay, it should work now. Yeah, it should work now. Bill, what's up, Bill? I see Bill in the chat. Juma's here. Harris Smith getting a well-deserved standing ovation. That is beautiful. Harris Smith's a dog, bro. Oh my goodness, that dude's a monster. I don't know how old he is, but he's a problem. Okay, here we go. I assume he's retiring, right? Just based on the stuff they were showing pregame, like that would make sense. Shoot, maybe he's not retiring. I don't know, dude. I never know what that dude. That guy's old, man, but he just balls. But it was this quote from Dan Campbell, so I thought I'd just start with this.
You say, maybe we're not that far away. We're close to getting to where we want to be next year. How one critical is it to get that going, and maybe how daunting is it to getting that back to where it was?
It's everything. It's everything.
I don't know if I started that far enough back. I don't know if I actually gave any context to what he was talking about there. You've probably all seen it. I don't know if I did, though. I may not have started that far enough back. That may have been on me. I may take the L for that one. But he was talking about the run game, okay? As we expected, he was talking about the run game. And I just feel that answer was so good, man. It was so Dan Campbell, man. It's exactly who he's been since he's been here. So I love that there was no, kind of messing around with it. Like, it was very straightforward. That's it. we got to be able to run the football. So I did love that. I don't know. It just made me a little happy just to kind of hear him do that. Not even like mess around with the question, not try to explain it away. Just very straightforward. That's going to be the difference, man. We got to get that right this season. Acknowledging that. And I think they have acknowledged that. I think it took them a while to get there because they didn't want to get there. But I think over the last few weeks they got there. And it was like, yeah, this stinks. We can't run the football. And it's like, it got there and they just like, we're going to try not to have to do it, but we know, you know what I mean? We know it. So I thought I'd start with that. Also, let's go to these inactives real quick because we're a little beat up and the offensive line's the biggest issue right now on paper. I think Chris Hubbard's probably going to start at tackle for us. That might not be a bad thing. He hasn't played this season. Last time we saw him was 2024, played about 200 snaps, played left tackle. 2023 played about 500 snaps, right tackle. I assume he's going to play right tackle for us. But it's been a minute since he's played. He's not young either, so I don't look at this as like, oh, if he balls out, maybe he's the future. Like, it's none of that. Maybe there's a path where he could be like a practice squad piece next year or something, where at some point you need him, you're familiar, he played well, how you bring him back, and we're kind of excited about it if you needed him at some point. Outside of that, I don't know. But I assume he's starting just because we don't have a lot of other options, to be completely honest with you. So I'll throw this up on the screen right now. Alex Anzalone's out, which is, it's not good. I don't want to see Alex be out, especially against Lovin. Lovin's been cooking recently. But I am excited to see Malcolm get a lot of snaps. And I think that's going to happen in this game. Chicago's not afraid to use a lot of tight ends either. So I think we're going to see a lot of Malcolm, see a lot of Derek Barnes as well. I think both those guys need a lot of snaps, specifically Rodriguez, man. I want to see more there. It feels like it's been forever since we've seen him consistently on the field, so it'll be good for him. Tristan Cologne's out. That just hurts for depth. It doesn't give us a lot of flexibility either with this interior. because you have Tristan Colon out, you have KO that's out for this game, you have Giovanni Manu, who is not activated for this game, who I thought maybe he's going to get the nod at tackle because they said he's feeling better, but wasn't ever elevated. So I think Chris Hubbard's going to have to start a tackle, and I assume Dan Skipper's our left tackle. If this game, I'll be honest, I don't know if this would change or not, depending on I would think it change a bit depending on if this game mattered. Bro, if this was a game that mattered and this is what it looked like coming in, this would be very scary. It's not as much because we know it doesn't matter, but this is not good. This is not good, bro. No Penei Sewell. I'm sorry, I'm showing the wrong one. I'm showing the injury report. I'm like, wait a minute, why does it say questionable? Let me go back up. No Taylor Decker. Here we go. This is what you need to see. This is what we're here for. This is not great. Okay. Sorry. No Penei Sewell. I don't know why I read it like that. No Penei Sewell. It's not great. And here's why it's the big problem. It's a problem because the edge position for Chicago, I think, is their biggest strength. I think what Austin Booker has done recently, so regardless of who he sees in this game, Dan Skipper, Hubbard, whoever he sees, he's been a problem, right? He's been a problem. And also, Montez Sweat's maybe their best player. I think Javon Dexter is their best defensive lineman. I think he's been outstanding. The positive for today is the interior line has a shot to be good. It actually has an opportunity to be good. This could be a fantastic game for this interior line. And Dan Campbell had another quote in this post or presser that he did, where he talked about how that basically most of these guys aren't going to be guaranteed to start going forward, especially the young guys. Did you give it everything you have? This may be the last time you get that chance. And I feel like that means so much to a guy like Miles Frazier. I would assume Miles Frazier's starting today. There's no Mahogany, right? So I would assume he's starting. If that's the case, this is a massive opportunity for him. This is a massive opportunity for Miles Frazier. He'll be next to Graham Glasgow. You'll have Tate Ratledge. I think Ratledge is going to be a starter going forward, but I guess it's not a complete guarantee. I think he will be a starter going forward. But ultimately here, this could be a great opportunity for Miles Frazier. So I feel like he falls into that category just because of where he's at. Health-wise, this could be I don't know. Just because of how hard we're going to address it this offseason, it's going to be hard to find snaps for him outside of injuries. And that will happen, right? That'll happen next year. But this is a great opportunity to at least kind of throw yourself in that a little bit, that mix a little bit more. Hey, at least keep me around for that. I mean, there's a very small chance he has any chance to start next season, especially to begin the year. That is almost guaranteed not to happen. Maybe at some point it could happen, but to just be in the mix would be important for him. And this is the time to do it, I think. So I'd like to see Miles Frazier play today. I thought that I read, and I may have missed this. Let me make sure I'm not missing this. I may have missed it. Hold up. Yeah. Christian Mahogany could get the nod, right? Christian Mahogany could be available. I would like to see Miles Frazier play. But I'm also in kind of the same boat with both of these guys where, both of them are kind of in that same situation to me. If Christian Mahogany starts, I'm kind of looking at it the same way. There's no guarantee that Christian Mahogany is at all a starter going forward. I think Christian Mahogany right now is fighting to stay in that mix. That's how I'd be looking at it, because I think the way I would hit this offseason, and when you hear Dan say that, it's everything that we get the run game going, he's going to me, that guarantees he's going to address it in the coaching search. 100% they're going to address it. They're going to add somebody that they feel makes that better. It might just be his specialty. But then also the investment of the O-line is going to be big time. So because of that, I think Mahogany's in that category for me. He would be for me. I think he is for the Lions right now. I mean, this could be his future coming down to what it looks like. It won't just be today. It's already hasn't been great. So that's why it's coming down to this. So I don't know. It could be a good opportunity, but I don't know. And look, I say that because we should create movement in this game. You should find a run game to some extent in this game. Because if you don't, you're at the point there where you just can't run on anybody, and that's concerning. It's one thing to not be a good rushing team, and especially against good run defense, you don't have a lot of success, and you're just not super consistent, and maybe you don't create a lot of explosives. But it's another thing to not be able to run against anybody. That's the category you'd be trending to if you don't have success running the ball against Chicago, any kind of success. I mean, against Minnesota, there was a little bit. There was no explosives, but there was a little bit of success, a little bit in the first half. And that's setting the bar low, 3 to 4 yards. And then there was none in the second half. If you don't create some movement in this game, you're like, bro, that's a big problem. You're way further away, bro. Like you're not even in it anymore. That's a big problem. So they should create movement, and that's why I say it's a good opportunity because they should be looking at that as a good opportunity to play good football. And I think they can. I think they can. Grady Jarrett, Jervon Dexter is going to be the biggest problem up front. Andrew Billings. I think you could find success on most of those guys. Again, defensive end, I think it's their biggest strength. Not having Sewell stinks. He's going to give us some problems. Montez Sweat will. But there's a world there to move him around a bit. So we'll see how that plays out. Receiver-wise, having Lovett be inactive is kind of unfortunate. But it looks like St. Brown's going. I didn't know they were going to play St. Brown. To be honest with you, I thought earlier in this day when I saw this stuff, it was like, oh, okay, he's probably not going to play. Then they didn't put him on the inactives, so he is going to play, which is the mindset I would have come in with too. I'm not looking at shutting down guys for this game. I don't think, honestly, I think that's the wrong message based on how this year's went. But I also think as a player, like, there's no way you should be looking at it that way. So for that reason, shout out to St. Brown for playing, right? Let's end on a good note. They're definitely playing to win this football game, and I'm 100% with that. So that's good, I guess. I don't know. I mean, look, we're gonna have our three guys. We're gonna have JMO. We're gonna have Tesla. Speaking of that, I got my final bets of the season for the Lions, and I had to, man. I was like, hey, this is the last opportunity to do this. So I jumped in on it. Isaac Tesla getting a touchdown in this game. That's a nice little payout. You know what I mean? It's a nice little payout. I think you get one with all the red too that they play in the red zone. It's gonna be sitting in zone. You're gonna have some seams. We'll see if Allen tries to take him away, but I like that. There's Khalif. That'd be interesting, too. Maybe some stuff underneath. I would love to see the depth play. However, I don't want – yeah, and here's the thing, too. I think someone said Hassanin. Hassanin won't play. He was never – I don't believe he was ever activated off the practice squad. Unless I'm missing that, I don't think he was ever activated. So he won't be. Zach Horton will be, which is fun. That's good. I think that's actually a must. You talk about opportunity. If Zach Horton gets some snaps, that's a good opportunity for him. Tight end play to me has been not good. Very disappointing. Run blocking has been incredibly disappointing. But one guy that has done some good things there, I think very consistently outside of our top two, has been Zach Horton. He was doing this back when we first scooped him up. I thought he had a path to make the team. I thought he could have been a fullback for us. This is a good opportunity for Zach Horton. I hope he gets some snaps in this game because Zach Horton could stick around. Everybody beyond Brock and Shane and Sam, we'll see. I mean, it's no whatever. But Zach Horton could stick around. Just somebody that'll freaking block. You know what I mean? Like, that's the point that I'm at with these dudes. So I'm excited for Horton. But, yeah, Hassanin, I don't believe will. What position of need that's deep in free agency available? Shout out to my man KV Alto, first off, with the 10-piece, man. I appreciate you. What's the position of need that's deep in free agency? Okay, I feel like our positions of need aren't that deep in free agency, which is the problem. Like, where I would put them at the top. Because to me, it's O-line, it's slot corner. Safety's always deep, but I don't know how much they're going to hit that. Trying to think. I don't know if I want to go linebacker. Maybe linebacker, because we'll just have to see how they address it this offseason. It's going to be a lot about if they're just going to retain their guys or not. But linebacker could be interesting. They could. You get a lot of short-term deals at linebacker in the NFL, so they could look to change that up a bit. They could look for new bodies coming in. I thought we had a good linebacker room coming into this year, really good linebacker room. So maybe that's one of those positions that could be a little stronger. Let me see if I can grab some names before we get to this. Okay. Yeah, because we're going to have to make a lot of decisions on our guys, Malcolm, Alex, Stewart, Cunningham. Like, most of our guys are gone, potentially gone. But there's some dudes out there this offseason. And that's usually how it goes. There's usually a lot of turnover at linebacker. So probably that position. That'd be the one I'd keep an eye on. Hold up. We still have to lose to get fourth place schedule, I think. I think we're locked into a fourth place schedule if Minnesota wins because they swept us. So right now, Minnesota's third. So we're going to be last place. Yeah, Minnesota won. So we're going to be last place. Which is pretty wild, to be honest with you, that we're going to be last place and we could win 9 games. It's pretty wild. I don't know how. I mean, there's not a team that won that many games in the NFC South. So it's pretty nuts that it could play out that way. But, yeah, I think we're set for fourth place, which is devastating to stay out loud. However, you could do it with 9 wins, which is insane. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty crazy. You can do it with 9 wins. But yeah, I think a linebacker comes to mind here, man. I just didn't think slot corner was that deep. I mean, if we're talking to all corners, maybe a little bit more. But I didn't think slot corner was that deep. Edge this year looking kind of trash, which is just kind of a lot of guys that were going to be available last year anyway. I would also throw tight end in there. I think tight end's going to be a good spot. Tight end's going to be a good spot this offseason. Again, it could be just retaining our guys. It's going to be a lot more minimum level type of deals that we'd be throwing out there. But I think that's a position where we're probably going to see turnover. It's a big reason I think Horton's playing today. We're going to see turnover there probably, and it's probably not going to be a very expensive, but there's a lot of names. There's a lot of guys out there to be available, and it's something I think they have to address this offseason. I think they will address this offseason with multiple different signings at that position specifically. So tight end's probably another good one. I would say that maybe linebacker would be the two. And linebacker, again, it's probably going to depend on what we do specifically there. And then you wonder about like quarterback and stuff because I don't know. You know, we'll just have to kind of wait and see. If we lose Dave, we might need running back. I don't think we're going to lose David. I mean, if we cut him, I mean, he's under contract for 2 more seasons. Cutting him this year wouldn't really save you anything. It'd save you like $2 million. You could if you just want to get out of it. I don't think they're going to be in a rush to do that. And I also think, I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I also think the fact that you did pay him just addresses even more that you got to throw everything you have at the offensive line. Because if you looked at it of the sense of you were going to pay, you drafted a running back in the top 12, and then you went back and you paid and you gave an extension to Montgomery, and it's not there. Clearly, you're invested and you believe in what you have in those guys. I don't think that's changed over a season. So it's just strictly going to come down to me to coaching staff adjustments, which is going to be guys that understand the run game a little bit more, and then also really heavily investing in the middle line. I mean, they could have moved off of Monty. It more so helped them for 2027 because they would jump ahead a lot of that. You know, they would jump ahead of the dead cap, so they'd get it off for next year. There's not really a huge benefit to this year to doing that unless they split it into 2 years. So it's a possibility if they're really just trying to save some money, a little bit of money. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I'd be surprised if they moved off him 2 years early. I don't think that'd be a move. I don't think Monty was great this year in pass pro, which was kind of the letdown for me. I don't think anything like that's going to happen. Also, I think the problem with Sione Vaki not being consistently available too puts them in a spot where they haven't really seen him. Like even when opportunities have been there, we haven't seen him, and they've leaned so much into Jahmyr Gibbs that we haven't seen a ton of Monty either. So I don't know. I don't think see anything's changing there, and I do think that's still who they want to be identity wise. So I think ultimately, if that's who you want to be, again, it has to come from more so instead of, to me, alternating the running back. It's got to be alternating the O-line. It's got to be alternating the coaching staff that's getting him the football. That to me has to be the change. It can't. For their mindset, I don't think it would be that just changing the running back. Can we talk about how messed up the Ragnow deal was? We lost Craig and no Frank. We got hosed. Wait, what Frank deal? Talk about the Frank deal was we lost Craig and no Frank. We lost Craig and no Frank. I'm missing something there. I'm missing something. You might have to say that one again. I think I'm missing something there. Detroit versus the refs. I see you. How you doing? We also got some plays that I can showcase, but we don't need to do that. I feel like Davenport, Levi, and Pascal would be super cheap. I do think so. I think if Pascal's a minimum, maybe I'd move on from Pascal, to be honest. I hate that, but I would. I'd probably move on from Levi too. The problem with the Levi one is I would order in terms of I'd prefer to go after Levi versus going after Davenport because at least Levi gives me flexibility, and he was out before the season. So that one to me isn't you know what I mean? Like to me, that one you can make a case to be like, all right, we can bring him back. You know, we liked how he finished it up here. Pascal honestly, Pascal at his best, I don't think has earned an extension. So I wouldn't pay him. I feel like that'd be kind of a handout in some ways, and I don't know if I'd do that. I'd probably stay away from it unless again it's just like a vet minimum, which could be. I don't know how much he's really going to have interest this offseason. I wouldn't think there's going to be much. So maybe something like that. And I don't think he'd be a lock to make the team if he was extended, which is the other thing there too. Davenport's still interesting to me. I mean, that one is truly going to depend on price point. I think that one's still interesting. But like Pascal, I think you got to walk. Levi, I would assume they're going to walk. I mean, they've done things like that in the past where they've kept guys. Like obviously Davenport was one of them. And they've kept guys through injuries. Emmanuel Mosley was another one. The thing with Levi that works in his favor is only 1 year because the year before he did play and he played really well. So at least he has that out there that he's played good football and he's worked in this defense and he did it for almost the entire season. And then he just got knocked out for the year. I think it's different. Pascal just isn't consistently available. Fortunately, a lot of that's not in his control, but he's just not. We dropped Craig Reynolds to make room for Frank Ragnow and we got neither. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I got you. So I hear what you're saying. Yeah, again, I don't know. Like, I don't know how much that would move the needle for. And this you're talking about like special teams value. I love me some Craig Reynolds. Don't get it twisted. I love me some Craig Reynolds, but I don't think that would have moved the needle much offensively this season, honestly, at all. Because he's never really consistent. He's never really out there, to be honest. If as long as Monty and Gibbs are healthy, he's never going to see the field. I feel like Levi Dev. Okay, I already read that. You want Dable. We need linebacker safeties that can blitz. So Campbell has been an amazing blitzer this year. I've been really impressed with Campbell. I think Campbell's taken off as a blitzer. He's gotten to a spot that I didn't think he was capable of getting to as a blitzer. We'll see what happens. Again, a lot of these guys are free agents anyways, so that'll just be up to their interpretation of what they want to do. But Campbell has become a big time blitzer this season. That's been awesome. I always thought Barnes would have that ability. I don't think it's ever really taken off for him, which is a little bit disappointing. There's always backers out there that can blitz. I remember this offseason, I really wanted Devin Bush. I think it was this offseason. I don't think a lot of people are feeling it. Bush had a pretty darn good season. But I was thinking the same way, like someone that would get downhill. But I also didn't anticipate Jack Campbell was going to add that to his game. And I think he really did this year. So at least gives him a little bit of that. Obviously, when they had safety, that if he could do it. I think Branch is like high level, one of the best blitzing safeties because he's just so darn good in the box. I think he's one of the best, if not the best, run defending safety in the NFL as well. Like he's outstanding everywhere near the line of scrimmage. So you have that. Behind that, though, don't really have the same presence. I think Maddox could be capable. You don't really have the same presence there. I think a lot of it, too, with safety is going to be size. If you're just asking guys to strictly to blitz from a safety alignment, a lot of it's going to come back to size, disrupting pass lanes, because not a lot of safeties are going to beat blocks one-on-one. That doesn't happen typically. But long defenders that create some separation, disrupt passing lanes like Ife Melifanu could, I think that's the separating aspect there. Most safeties aren't that big, but maybe you can find one. I wonder how many players we will shed this year. It could be. I think most of it will be letting guys walk. I don't know how many cuts we're actually going to see because I don't know how many actually make sense. Graham Glasgow to me would be the biggest one. That'd be the only one that would be significant that I see taking place. I don't think there's any really other significant cuts that are going to happen. Like the only thing would be like, can you get off a DJ Reed's deal? Probably not. So I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's stuck here. Like I things like that. But it'll just be guys walking, bring Iffy back. Iffy didn't even play this year, man. Like he missed, I think, almost all the season. I don't know how much he played actually this year, but he's out for the year, I believe, with Miami. So unfortunately, again, kind of hit him. I was excited to see him in Miami. I want Haynes from Michigan. Reminds me of the Jamal situation. Take it to the house and play. Yeah, the injury was unfortunate to Haynes there. Wouldn't have an issue addressing running back. I don't know. I don't see it being very aggressive to hit running back this offseason. I don't think we're going to see many changes back there. Not against it. If you got to get the run game going, you could take swings in every way possible. I'm not against it. I just don't think they'll do much with it. Graham will be gone as well. I don't know about Decker. I don't think Decker's going anywhere. I think Decker having 2 years left on his deal. I think it'd be more of a Decker decision than anything. I don't think the Lions are going to move off of Decker. That would surprise me a little bit. It's probably more doable than some of these other deals. I don't think he'll go anywhere unless it's on his own mind that he wants to leave. Yeah, he's more doable financially. You could get out of his contract, and it financially would be fair. You could make that work. You could save some legitimate cap. You just have to have a legit plan to deal with it. You have to have a good plan for that. That's a huge investment to put yourself in, especially when you have other issues to fill in the O-line. It's a lot to put on your plate because immediately, you talk Liz John Moore, talk about continuity. You move off of Decker, you may open $10 million, but you're talking about $10 million plus no draft picks to now you have to go fill starting left tackle, maybe 2 starting interior offensive linemen in an offseason. Get those 3 guys to it, the 2 that you already like, and put that together. Not impossible. It's doable. But especially when you don't have a ton of money hitting free agency anyway, outside of heavy restructures, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be a little tricky. It's possible, though. I don't think they'll do it. I wouldn't think. Maybe they look for a pay cut there. I wouldn't think they would just outright move off him. It's on the table. But I do think, I don't know. I think it would just be on his plate probably. Well, happy belated birthday. Was out of the country. Happy New Year. I appreciate that, Spencer. Birthday was in December 21st, man. So I appreciate that. Happy New Year as well. The energy on line streams is low here today. Yeah, you got nothing to be fired up about. To be honest with you, I am fired up to see this game. The big thing, though, is I'm kind of just like on to the next step. That's where I'm at. You know what I mean? I'm on to the next step. I'm on to the draft. My focus is going to be heavy on the draft channel. I think it just works better for me. And so my mindset's kind of there now. You know what I mean? I've kind of shifted my mind from this to let's focus on the draft a little bit. I just think that makes sense for kind of what I do, what I like doing. I think that's just kind of where I'm at with it. Reed will bounce back. Cornerback's always up and down. It was your birthday. It was a while back though. It was a little while back. Spencer set us up for failure there. Decker should restructure his deal and stay a mentor for whichever else tackle the Lions draft round 1. Yeah, I don't think we're going to draft a tackle round 1. At least, here's what I'll say. I think if we draft a tackle round 1, because I think it's possible, I think he's got to be able to start somewhere else. Like I said, I don't see them, as of now, could be wrong. If Decker is under contract, I don't see them drafting a tackle and having him sit as a tackle. Now, if you draft a guy that can play, that's a tackle, that can play another spot on the O-line, that I think is possible. But I think it would be like if the Lions are sitting at like 29, and this was like a normal year of the past, now I think that's more possible. Teams do that. Chiefs did it. Cowboys did it. Teams will do that. I don't think the Lions will do that with their first pick. Obviously, it would have to be through a pretty aggressive trade down. I don't think they'll draft a guy to sit with their first pick and not move off of Decker. Because I think if you move off of Decker, then you can at least take $10 million, throw it into a trade for a tackle, try to go acquire somebody this offseason, maybe put that towards signing another offensive tackle that has some starting potential to him or starting capabilities, and then you can draft that tackle. But I think if you hold Decker, it's going to be difficult, and it would take a very significant. And here's the thing at all of this. I like Taylor Decker. Like, I think Taylor Decker is a good football player. I don't think he's been terrible this season. I thought he was really good the year before. I think he's taken a step back from that. But the issue with Decker is he's not consistently available anymore. He's not consistently on the field. He's going to miss some games. That's the problem I think we're running into with Decker. That's the biggest problem. It's not even play as much to me. That's the issue I have with Taylor Decker. And I think that's the problem that we're all kind of trying to figure out right now with him. Ronnie Bell just made one heck of a catch. We need to replace Anzo with a coverage linebacker, and that's going to be hard. Anzo has been a dog as a coverage backer, continues to be a dog as a coverage backer. I don't think there's many guys like him in that sense. But if you go a different type, you could find it. You know what I mean? If you're willing to venture out a little bit and get a little smaller, you could find it. Danzo's really good at what he does in man coverage, man. He's unique. I'll give him that. And Malcolm was really good in man coverage the last time we saw him. So Anzo's the biggest problem with Malcolm Rodriguez is his size. Like, Malcolm's a little bit undersized. But I'll be honest with you. The last time we saw him play significant snaps coming into this year, I was very excited about Malcolm Rodriguez. I thought he could be the future, to be honest with you, because Malcolm Rodriguez in man coverage was tough. This dude was on a complete upswing. Honestly, Campbell's got a lot better this year too. But and they put him on a lot of those assignments. But Malcolm was really good. It's always been a size thing. But I felt like he kind of got past some of that last time we saw him, which was pretty cool. Like, it didn't feel as impactful for him. So I think today is going to be a great opportunity. See if they get him some isolated matchups. See what the heck that looks like. Put that on film a little bit for us. I'd like to see that a little bit. Angel's going to be a tricky one too. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I don't know. A short-term re-sign. The fact that he stuck around and he played this year under just kind of a little bit more money makes me think that if you were to extend him to a short-term deal, that he might take it. I don't know. But maybe that's because it was so fast, and it's like if he has a whole offseason to think about it, he can make more plans. I don't know. I like Anzalone. All right. Let's give Miami a top 5 pick. Oof. I'd be a little surprised if he was a top 5 pick, to be honest. But man, he's a good player. Francis is a good player. All right, let me do this real quick. 1 second. We'll go to this, and then we'll wrap it up here. We'll get ready for the game. Raiders lock up the 1 pick. All right, congratulations, Raiders, on your new quarterback, man. Okay. All right, let's go to this. Yeah, I mean the Decker thing is be interesting. You could definitely try to set yourself for the future. We'll see what they think with Manu, but I just think Decker's not playing bad football. He just isn't consistently available this year, which is the biggest problem. But I don't think he's played bad football. I think he's played good ball. Actually, I think the problem is we don't have strength. Like I also don't think we have the strengths around him that support what he is. Like Decker's ability in run blocking impressed me last year. I was like, wow, he's a much better run blocker than I remember. This year he hasn't been elite there, but I also think that your guard play is not very good. Your center player gives you no movement in the run game, so I just don't think you feel it as much either. Like you feel those guys a little bit more. We'll see though. It's it's on the table. There's some flexibility with that one. Let's go to this. Carolina's going to the playoffs. That's unfortunate to have it come down to that. To win that game and have it come down to the Saints got to beat the Falcons. Come on, man. That's that stinks. That stinks, bro. Have it come down to that. Come on, man. All right, let's go to some of this Bears stuff. So only a couple clips. 19-minute playoffs. Unreal, bro. Go to a couple clips here, man. We'll see some man coverage here early. They don't do this a ton. I know Chicago fans want to see this more. I think they're pretty good in man coverage. I think their biggest issue matchup-wise is the interior of their defense. I think between Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Jaquan Brisker, Kevin Byard, like I think their biggest struggle is matching up from the inside out. I think on the outside, they're fine. Nashawn Wright, I think he's playing this game. I think he was questionable. He'll take the ball away. Hasn't done it against us. And we know Morton talked about that it was length and it was maybe bad detail by the route running, which got teams in trouble. But I think that's where you find your most success against them. I also do like running man against them. I just think the problem is at this point, I don't know if we can do it. Like typically I would like to see it, but I just think at this point where we're at cornerback wise, I don't know how much you can do it. I think you just stay to who you are. You're going to keep playing zone. And the biggest challenge that they're going to be tested with to me is just don't give up the vertical shot. Try to force them to work long drives. Make them work underneath. Make them earn long drives. Hopefully our run defense shows up in this game. But don't give them the big explosive because they're going to open up a lot of explosives in pass game. And you can see it opening here, right? Tampa 2 coverage. Cornerback drops to the flat. Doesn't sink. Gives up a big chunk. Ben's really good at this. He's always been really good at this, and he picks it up pretty fast. I don't know how much you're going to be able to disguise on this guy, but I do think that the zone is effective in terms of you're going to give us some dang completions to Caleb, but Caleb will miss passes, so maybe just play into that. Hopefully he misses some throws because he will miss some throws, and don't give him the big play as an out. Don't do that. You can see, again, middle of the field, especially if we can run off it, which we should be able to run a little bit in this game. That's what's going to open up for us. That's what's going to have its chance. There's a little bit of a win here. Over the middle of the field, you see they get one-on-one with their linebacker. This time they're going matching coverage. Now, this was different because they played Green Bay differently than they played San Fran. We got some matching coverage here against San Fran. Linebacker gets bumped onto a receiver. Obviously, he's going to get cooked over the middle of the field. So you get different coverage assignments. I think it was, trying to remember correctly, I think it was Green Bay. They played a lot of quarters coverage. So I wonder how they're going to play us. I would assume they're going to play a lot of cover 3. Though we tend to throw the ball pretty well so far this season against that, but they may lean into that thinking that their length is going to be a big problem, especially if they get pressure. That's not always what they get, so I thought playing a little bit softer against Green Bay made some sense. They did that a little bit more in that game. The big key for the run game is going to be big 99, man. You can move a lot of these guys. 99 has been a dog. He also is getting pressure for him this season, and that right side of the offensive line has been a problem. Now, here's what I like. I think we need to do this. I think we need to have a shifting front post snap. I think occasionally got to show some gaps against these guys, attack some of these run lanes. But I think really you got to run some defensive line games up front on early downs. I'm talking about slanting gaps, slot blitzing. This is the kind of thing that you don't even have to blitz to do this. That's the kind of thing I think you have to do in this game because they're going to be pretty good up front. They're pretty cohesive too. The way they play together, they can lean on that right side. They're scheme versatile. Swift gets downhill, so you don't want to let him get downhill. You want to stall before it happens. I think you need some of that defensive front movement because if not, you can see just like this. They'll go 6 offensive linemen. They have 6 deep O linemen. They run block pretty well at tight end. Hopefully we handle that. Our linebackers need to, but they have ran block pretty well for those guys. So I'm thinking we got to create some movement up front. That front 4 has got to be shifting. They got to be, jumping gaps at the snap, hopefully creating some problems. And then when I see plays like this, bro, I'm thinking this is a Ben Johnson offense all the way through. Stick flat, come back to his third read, right over the middle of the field against the cover 3. Safety loses his eyes, has no threat. He just loses his eyes to the backside seam and gives up that completion. That is a that is That's a Ben Johnson offense right there, man. That looks so familiar. But I think that's what it's going to come down to because you can see they're going to get downhill. They're going to get behind those tight ends. They block pretty darn well. So I just hope we get some movement up front, try to cause some disruption, cause their negatives in the run game. You're going to get probably beat up a little bit in the pass game. Just to be honest, you'll probably sit in a lot of zone. Don't give up the explosive. Make them work the underneath. And then hopefully you create some negatives on the run game. If we could do those things, we give ourselves a chance. They're going to score a good amount in this game. And offensively, we should create some movement. We should create some movement. You have to. If you're going to stick around, you have to. Is there a world in Tate is at center? I think Tate is the center going forward. That's my expectation. I think he is our starting center going forward. Graham at left guard, Mahogany at right guard. Is there a world in which that happens? I think the only world that happens is injury. But I don't hate what you're saying because I get it. There's a world in which Graham sticks around. There is a world, right, for competition because it's just easier. You know, like if I say with our cap space, if you hit the draft knowing you need multiple probably starters on the interior line, even if you draft first round and second round O-line, that doesn't guarantee anything. We can use our first 2 picks, which we don't have a third round pick, on 2 interior offensive linemen. And at best, I mean, not at best both of them will be starters, but there's a real chance that one of those guys becomes a starter because he's the first round pick. And the other guy, maybe not. Like there's and the pure interior linemen are not very heavy at the front of this draft class. So you would at least have that. Mahogany's going to stick around. I think he'll stick around. He'll give you some competition there. I think there actually is a possibility for Mahogany to play snaps. I don't think it'll be off of left guard. I think he'll stay at left guard. I don't see him moving. And to me, Tate Ratledge, if we'll go to center to me. I mean, there's right guard flexibility. I don't think Mahogany's going to move. I think Graham's going to get cut. There's a world to keep around Graham because versatility, flexibility is valuable. Graham would be an awesome backup to have. He's just not an awesome starter to have. He's an awesome backup. It'd be fantastic to have him as a backup. I'd be really grateful for us to have him as a backup. As a starter, it's not. It's not great. So I think there's a world in which he does stick around. I would hope the world isn't those that are starting 5 coming in next year is that. I would hope that's not what it ends up looking like. And that the only way that could end up happening is because guys get injured before the season starts. Are you moving on from Shep? I'm keeping Shepard. As of now, we'll do a video on it. As of now, I'm keeping Kelvin Shepard. I'm fine with Calvin Shepard. I like him. I like his mentality. I like his mindset. I like his adaptability. I feel like he was ahead of schedule versus Aaron Glenn on that. I don't love how he's been inconsistent with details, but I think that's been all around. I do like the way that he coaches. I like his style. I like his ability to make adjustments and not be as hard-headed. I would keep Calvin Shepard around. I think he gives you a chance. I'd keep him around. What's up with Sorsdal? Isn't he still here till next year? I don't even know if Sorsdal is here, to be honest with you. Is Sorsdal still here? I don't even know if he's still here. That's a good question. I don't think he's still here, man. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's even on the team right now. I don't think he's even on the team right now, man. I don't think he's here. I feel like he was like, is he here? All right. Well, shoot. I don't know what the deal is with Sorsdal. I don't know. Oh, I don't know, man. I mean, he's on IR? Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay. What's the deal with Sorsdal, man? Shoot. I don't know. They tried some stuff with him, bro. They tried some stuff. They tried to go to tackle. He is here through next season. He'll probably get cut, to be honest with you. He'll probably get cut this offseason. He'll probably get cut, I'll be honest. I mean, they tried some different things. I don't think anything's really connected. They'll probably cut him. Who is subbing for Panay? Lord bless the run game. Well, no one's going to sub for Panay. That dude's playing every snap. That guy, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about it backwards. Who is playing for Panay? So, hold up. Let me go back. I would assume Skipper's going to start. Hubbard has played some right tackle in the past. He actually played better at right tackle. And Hubbard's a powerful dude. All right. Hubbard is a people mover at the point of attack. That's his game. He's long. He's got pop. He just doesn't athletically, I think, move that well. I mean, you get him out in space, it's not great. Second level is not great. He's going to make things happen at the point of attack, but anything beyond that, I think, is shaky. And pass pro wasn't the best last time we saw him. So he could step into right tackle. They have him elevated. He could do it. My guess is they go to Skipper first because Dan Skipper's their guy, and that's what they've done. So I think they would go there first. And then maybe it's awful, they just go, all right, let's see what Hubbard's got. But because Hubbard's 35 years old, I don't think they're going to go to him first. But Hubbard could create some pop. Honestly, Hubbard would probably be a better run blocker in this game than Penei Sewell, to be honest with you. He'd probably be better at that than, or not Penei Sewell, than Dan Skipper. Not better than Penei. That's crazy. He'd probably be a better run blocker than Skipper in this game. Probably. All right. Maybe Skipper would move a little bit better. He'd probably be a little better there. They both in pass pro, I would absolutely bet on Dan Skipper. So I would assume Skipper's going to get the nod for that alone. But, Hubbard could do, like one of those two could do some 6-0 lineman work. Dabble in that a little bit. Oh, I don't know, man. They got to create movement, though. Even with that being the case, you got to create some movement. You still got the dudes to do it. It's a good opportunity. You should create some movement. Got to get an explosive at some point. My goodness, we got to pop one at some point. My goodness, at one point, the stars got to align for a run to go. Anyone else looking at the Indiana quarterback? Yeah, he's going to pick one. Fernando Mendoza's a dog. He's going to pick one, I think. I don't think there's any. I think the first pick this year will be very boring. Unless there's someone that gives up a ton to go get him, and for some reason the Raiders stick with Geno, I think whoever is there is taking him at 1. If Goff takes 3 sacks today, do you put in Kyle Allen to avoid injury? If he takes 3, no. No, because I hate saying that because I think it's possible. I don't think it'd be crazy. Now, if he takes 3 sacks, we're down by 20, yes. Okay. If he takes 3 sacks and the game's over, okay, yeah, no, get him out of there. But if he took 3 in the first half and it's kind of a game, I wouldn't take him out. Unless he looks like he's hobbled, then I get him out of there. But he gonna get hit today. It just is what it is, bro. We made our bed with this one, bro. He's gonna get hit today. I don't know. Maybe I'm selfish with that. I want to see us freaking play some good ball, man. You know what I mean? I just want to see some good ball. He shouldn't get hit. He shouldn't get that sack 3 times early, though. He should not. He's going to get hit, but he shouldn't get sacked 3 times early. Even without Penei. They're not that good up front. Dexter's good. Booker's been on a heater a little bit. Sweat's cool, but they're not like dogs up front. This is not the D line to go get torched against without Penei. To me, there's no reason that should happen. The only reason that happens is because you can't run it all, and that should not be the case. There should be some run game. There should be some form of a run game in this. It has to be. It has to be, man. Anyways, I'm going to switch it over. We're going to go to the other. I haven't made the stream yet. I'm going to make a new stream for the live stream for our watch party. Of course, we'll have a post game too. So we'll do those 3 things. But I'm going to switch over the stream, man. I appreciate you joining for a little preview show. I know that was kind of not a lot to talk about the game, but it's fine. It's fine. Just want to get in here and chat a bit before we get this thing rolling. So we're going to switch over. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Let's handle business today. Let's go get win number 9.